Hello you guys, and welcome to my Disney December 2022 Q&A video. This is for our recent December trip. Wanted to answer some of your most pressing and popular questions from the trip and put them all in one video so it was easy for everyone to be able to get the answer that they needed and maybe some answers to other questions that they didn't think to ask too. So let's jump into it. Hello, my name is Ashley and I share tips, tricks, and hacks for taking toddlers to Disney, Disney planning tips, and our Disney vlog adventures along the way. Subscribe for more and like the video if you enjoy a little dose of Disney at home. So first question is, any idea when APs will go back on sale? Crying face. I feel that one so much. I want APs to go back on sale and I have no idea when. I have no insider knowledge. I don't know anything. I wish I did because I would love to buy one, but I don't. And hopefully soon. I could have well paid for an AP this year with our tickets, but you know, it didn't. All right, next question is entertaining toddlers on flights and lines, late nights with toddlers, naps, question mark. So that is like a video in and of itself, and I want to do one. You guys can let me know in the comment section if this is like a video you would like to see, but I'm wanting to do like a Disney toddler schedule. Like, I know there's so many like schedules for day to day and at home, but I wanted to share like an hour by hour kind of what we tentatively do. Obviously things go awry and you can't stick to a rigid schedule at Disney because stuff's gonna happen. I feel like you can't stick to a rigid schedule on vacation. But just I wanted to see about if that would be a video that you guys would like to see. Let me know in the comments. Disney toddler schedule video, let me know. But for flights and even in lines, having different activities for them to do, some new stuff that they've not seen is always so helpful. And also don't pull it all out at once. This is the big tip that I like try to press so hard because I see so many moms and it's like, I get it. I've done this before, so I can tell you from my mistake, do not pull it all out at once because it's so exciting. Like, you bought them all these new coloring books and Play-Doh and this and that, and you just want to pull it all out and show it all to them at once because you're so excited about it. But you gotta like reel it in, pack your patience, and give it to them one at a time. That way you can get the like extended amount of life possible out of each and every single item to make it through that flight. We have about a 2-hour flight from Nashville to Orlando. So definitely not as long as some people's, and we don't have to take multiple planes. Ours is usually nonstop, but definitely pack your patience with those. And same thing goes for lines. Having little, like, we will do cars that they can play with, little figurines like from McDonald's toys or like whatever. We've got some of the Disney ones that they went and gave out during the 50th. So different things like that, just pack them in a little bag. I also have the girls each, and it's in our owner's locker in Florida right now, so I can't physically show it to you, but they look like this. And they're little pop purses. And I know they make little like pop bags for boys if you wanted something a little more, if they're not too into like girly things or like a purse. You can have like a pop bag, and we'll keep a little like Play-Doh or a car or something, and we'll keep them in that. And then they can wear it, and the bag itself is an entertainment thing, so they can pop and play with that, but then they can also like get out the toy. And they love wearing things because I'm all the time wearing my mommy bag. And so it definitely kind of adds to the, well, I have a matching bag like mommy. And so it just kind of adds some fun elements to that. But I will have that bag and a couple of other options linked in the description box below. Yeah, having different activities, and don't be afraid to do a little screen time while you're on vacation. If you need it, you need it. I am not pro use all the screen time, but when you need to, you just need to. Next question is, what are your budget tips to go to Disney several times in one year? Okay, so before I started my YouTube channel, we were a once a year family, and we went every year together, Dean and I, as a couple, since we honeymooned at Disney World in 2012. So we were just, every year we would go once a year, and that's just what our budget could afford for that time. Now that I have started my YouTube channel, this has become what pays for our Disney trips, and it's become, weirdly enough to say, my job. And so sharing our tips and trying things out and testing all these baby products and trying to like give reviews and share things with you guys, and just helping my other Disney mom fam here feel a little more empowered and equipped for their trips. And so yeah, it's just, I can't believe I get to say this, but it's literally become my job. So that is how we afford to go so much, is because of you guys liking and commenting and subscribing, and the money I earn from you watching commercials and from using my links and shopping that way, and donations that I get from you guys from like where you send me like donations, and like, it's just crazy. And I can't thank you guys enough for all the support on the channel, because that's literally the reason we get to do this, and I get to live out my dream of that, is of going to Disney so much, is because I get to be a Disney mom content creator. And so it's really, really cool, but that is how we do it. As far as budgeting though, and like saving for trips and things, we will take even money that we get for Christmas. Like if family gives us money in lieu of gifts, then we will put it towards our trip. If even for our birthdays, we'll kind of compile it. Maybe we'll use a little bit of it for something that we wanted or whatever, buy something off of our wish list. But a lot of times we'll save it and put it towards our vacation, which is usually a Disney trip, because that's where we like to vacation. But we're more into spending money on experiences instead of just things and clutter. I mean, obviously we buy things. We're normal humans. That happens. But I try to be like very budget friendly. I shop at liquidation stores and like shop clearance racks and out of season, so I can get super cheap stuff. Like I went to Old Navy and I bought Lucy a ton of summer clothes. Like I had this whole giant bag full of summer clothes for her for next 2023's summer. And I paid $28 with all the discounts. And so it's like, I try to buy things like that as I can and just save. That way, instead of spending $100 on new clothes for her, I spent $28, and I can save the rest of that money towards a vacation or something else. So anytime I can save money, that is kind of how we do it. But yeah, we used to be a once a year family until this all happened. So yeah, but those are definitely my tips, is experience over stuff. Like it's easy to just want to buy all these little things, and they add up. If you do credit cards, I don't know, some people do, some people don't, but if you do an airline credit card, put everything on it. That way you can like save some points. We're not good enough to the point where it pays for every single one of our flights, but it usually pays for one flight a year for our family of, well, three of the four of us need flights. And so that usually helps with that. But yeah, so those are things you can do. Just save as much as you can, and that's just how we go. How are your girls during the sit down shows? I want to bring my girl, but not sure. She is 9 months. Okay. So every age is different for the girls. Like it's so different. And also what is developmentally appropriate for them to be able to sit through a show. I would always recommend, especially if it's your first time, sitting towards the end of a row. Like don't get in the middle where it's going to be really, really hard to dip out if your little one just completely starts freaking out. 2, I would bring them hearing protection. They make these little like earmuffs, like hearing protection, and I will link them in the description box below for you to check out. But we have a pair and we have used them. I forgot them on our recent trip. They're literally on my packing list. It was just crazy leading up to that trip, but I forgot those. But usually that really helps, especially if there's any like loud portions or kind of scary portions, especially if you're wanting to do something like the Indiana Jones show over at Hollywood Studios, or even some of the parts of like Fantasmic and things. They were a little like loud and boomy and kind of scary, because they do have some villain elements to them, and villains are scary. Bottom line, villains are scary. So if you want to do that, I highly recommend those along with it. You can also try sitting a little bit more towards the back. That can sometimes help with little ones, but yeah, they usually do really well. But on the odd occasion that they're just not feeling it, we will dip out. I had to do that with Bella this past summer. She was 11 months old and she absolutely hated the Finding Nemo show. Now, Lucy loved it. And I feel like if we hadn't kind of messed up with her nap, she had like just fell asleep for a little bit, and then she ended up like very quickly waking up. And so I feel like her mood was affected by the fact that she had this little quick cat nap that put her in a bad mood. And so I feel like she would have enjoyed it other than that. But I digress. She hated it, and she and I had to leave the show. Bella and I have dipped out of Finding Nemo because she is not a fan of loud noises, apparently. Because of it, because she was just wailing, crying, and didn't stop until I left the theater. And once I did, she was fine. Daughter will have just turned 2 next trip. Is Blizzard Beach worth it at this age? Yes, 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 yes. Tykes Peak alone is worth it for that age. And even at 2, there's quite a few other slides that I think she'll be able to go down. So if she's brave, it just depends on your little one and how they feel. My girls loved doing Team Boat Springs, which is the big one. You can get, I think it's either 5 or 6 people in this inner tube, and they just have to be big enough to hold on to the little handrails there, or their little handles. But it is so much fun, and we literally did it twice in a row, and we would have done it again, but we just were like, I can't do those stairs anymore because there's a lot of stairs to it, but it was so much fun. So yes, hands down, 2-year-old Blizzard Beach, go. You will love it. Plus, you're not having to pay for them a ticket yet, so you might as well go and like enjoy it while you're only paying for you and your spouse or another adult, whatever the case is. Do it. What kind of shoes do you love for the girls for park days? Okay, so we will do, like Bella, she is still early walking, so she a lot of times will do moccasins. For whatever reason, sandals with her, her feet always like somehow pop out, and so I can never keep her in sandals. I am not a fan of the mini Melissas in the parks because they're really plasticky and they can rub blisters. I've had mixed experiences with the native shoes. Sometimes they're great, and then sometimes they get little blisters rubbed on their feet. And so I don't know, maybe it depends on the child and their like foot and how it fits in the shoe. But yeah, those are split. For Lucy, she does the Fila's, and they're the chunky shoes. And this is a judgment-free zone, but if your kid is really close to the height requirement, get them a pair of Fila's and they may be able to get on rides. This is all like, it's just a little bit thicker pair of shoe. I'm not putting anything in the shoe. She's just wearing a thicker shoe, but I will link those in the description box below. That may or may not be helpful, but that's one of the things that we like to do. Any shoes that they can wear and play in for hours and hours at home comfortably, that would be my go-to and what I would recommend for your little one. If you do a split stay, can you book dining reservations for the second half of your trip early? No, you cannot. You can only book for 60 days out from the first part of your split stay and then the second part. Now that you have until your checkout day. So say you're staying 3 nights at the Polynesian. You have your check-in day through your checkout day. So whenever you're like switching resorts, you can book through then, but you can't book into the next. Say you're doing 3 nights at Poly and then you're gonna do 3 nights at Grand Floridian. You can't book for your like 6th day at the parks at Grand Floridian during that first section. So I hope that makes sense. But the answer is no, just for each individual one. That is definitely a con of split stays though. I hate that. I was going to ask how you all stayed healthy at Disney with kids who touch everything. Yeah, well, if you know from our Instagram stories, we did not stay healthy, unfortunately. We got back Tuesday night, and then I thought we were fine Wednesday. We were just tired. Thursday morning we woke up, all 3, like myself and the girls, all congested. Dean has made it out somehow without getting sick. I don't know how, but Lucy, Bella, and myself got all congested. Like Lucy threw up once. It was weird, and like she's never did it again. I don't know. But I'm telling you, it literally came from Bella licking the monorail. Like I turn around for 1 second and she licks the glass of the monorail, and I'm like, well, now we're getting sick. I don't know. But it happens to the best of us. So, you know, wash your hands a lot, baths, hand sanitizer if you do that. Yeah, just continuously washing hands and like de-germing as best you can. How did you get your little ones to stay out that late? What time do you do naps? Okay, so this kind of ties back into the first or second question. I think it's the second question, but about scheduling and everything. I want to do a full video on schedule, but the brief version of this is we let them sleep as long as they would that morning. We did not wake them up for anything. We just let them sleep. They slept as late as they wanted to. And then for nap, because they slept later, we pushed their wake window. Usually my girls are awake from between 4 to 5 hours before they have a nap at home. If you're taking care of babies, mama, you know what I'm talking about. We just pushed their wake window. So say they typically go down for a nap at 12, then they went down for a nap at 2. And so we put them down for their nap then, and then let them sleep as long as they wanted to. And that way whenever they woke up, we were ready to go to the parks and everything. So that's just kind of how we did it, is by kind of just letting them sleep and then pushing nap time, and just, yeah, that's how it worked for us. So that was the first time they've ever stayed up that late, and I can't believe it worked, but it did. So your mileage may vary, but that's what we did. Any regrets from this past trip? Not being prepared enough. I had gotten myself way overextended with, if you know, I do have another channel. I have what's called Spoonful of Cleaning, which is my homemaking, mommy, cleaning, decorating channel. And so I have had so much content between this channel and that channel, and just a lot going on, and overextending myself, and just the holidays are coming and all that, that I didn't get to do a lot of the prep work and just writing everything out that I normally do. And so I went into this trip with my pants on fire, so to speak. It was just, we ran into it like, I was not prepared for this trip. So there were little things that happened, and you'll see them in the vlogs, where I hadn't like made notes of which boat we would need to ride to go to our carriage, and so we got on the wrong boat, and yeah, like stuff like that happened. And then I forgot to check the time for fireworks, and so we were planning to be back at our resort to watch fireworks from our balcony, but we ended up being still at another resort, so we had to watch them from the restaurant. And so it was just little things like that that I'm like kicking myself over, like I know better than this. Like I teach people and like help people plan their Disney trips, and here I am, a bumbling idiot over here. So yeah, lots of fails from that trip. But those are the main things, is not being as prepared as I should have been going into that trip. So that is your cue to be sure, if you're wanting to watch fireworks or anything, check the times. Just because it's always usually at 9 o'clock doesn't mean that it's always going to be at 9 o'clock. So all that to be said, double check your times and make your little notes. Yeah, you'll help yourself. How to keep the kids entertained, how much time in the stroller. Okay, so with us, we try to keep them, like when we're moving from attraction to attraction or something, or through the park, a lot of times it's easier to just put them in the stroller and go, because you can like move through the crowds a little bit easier. But I get it. Sometimes they just want to be out of the stroller. And so I have this stroller handle, and I will have it linked in the description box below. So many links, but the stroller handle is really helpful for older toddlers and things that want to hold on and want to walk, because there are times they're going to want to do that, bottom line. So letting them out, letting them stretch their legs and move around a bit is really helpful. Anytime you're in line, whether you're baby wearing or they're a toddler, don't just carry them or hold them or leave them in the stroller. There were times we were in line for even character meet and greets. And instead of leaving them like strapped in the stroller, I let them get out and take a break and kind of walk around in the line and just do things like that. So it made it a lot easier than just keeping them in the stroller the entire time. It kind of helps get some of those wiggles out and that energy, because sitting in a stroller and just constantly sitting there all day is going to make them super, super grumpy. So having a nice little balance is helpful. Stopping to play on the hub grass or a playground at Epcot or whatever. Give them a little time to be a kid and play, because as much as Disney is for kids, sometimes it's the simple joys of playing in a playground and just walking around and looking at things and watching rides go by or whatever that can be those magical moments. So don't forget to slow down and give your kids some stroller free time. Thoughts on bringing car seat on the plane with a toddler or have them sit in the seat? A lot of people really prefer the car seat method because they feel like it's safer and they're all strapped in. And sometimes people say that their kids do better that way. Mine aren't the biggest fan of their car seats. And I guess this would be my question is, how does your child do on road trips? If they are good sitting in their car seat for 2 to 3 hours, then you might consider bringing it. That way they have that like whole strapped in feeling. So they feel like I am contained. I have to sit here. I can't be getting up and down and all of that. But if your child does not do good in a car seat for 2 to 3 hours at a time, just forget it. It's going to be a headache and you're going to be unbuckling and buckling and they're just going to be fighting it the entire time. To me, it's not worth it. My girls sometimes do good on road trips, sometimes don't do good on road trips, so I just avoid it and don't take that. Usually we don't need a car seat once we're there, so it would literally be me flying with a car seat for just the flight. So I don't know. I am pack as little as possible in that sense, especially big clunky gear like that. It's just hard to navigate the airport, but I digress. That would be my question, is how does your kid do on a road trip? And that will be the answer. How do you bring back all the souvenirs? We had the hardest time with that. Okay, so the biggest thing for us is a lot of times we will fly Southwest. And like on this last trip, we flew down Spirit, but we flew back Southwest. And the reason for that is because when we came back, we were able to check our suitcases, and the large shopping bag that you can get at the parks right now is actually the same size as a carry-on for Southwest Airlines. So we will put some of our souvenirs and things down in that and be able to have that as our carry-on and just check our luggage returning home. So that is my little hack, trick, whatever you want to call it, for getting souvenirs home, especially if you are like us and you try to like pack in like smaller suitcases and whatever. We've been on this whole carry-on only kick for a couple of trips now, but yeah, that is my tip for getting those home. And even if you're like a checked luggage family, you can still do that. If your carry-on doesn't have any like breakable things in it, go ahead and just check that bag and then use the shopping bag to bring back your souvenirs, or maybe your souvenir and then anything fragile. I don't know. You get the idea. Yeah, how did the girls do staying up that late for the party? They did great, honestly. We just, again, we let them sleep as long as they wanted to the next day, because we were planning on, we went to Epcot the next day and then we did extended evening hours. And so we just kind of pushed everything. I got up at 7 and did Genie Plus for the day and purchased that and booked our first lightning lane, and then went right back to sleep. And we slept for about 2 more hours or so and then got up and got ready. But that's what worked for us. It's just knowing that next day we are going to sleep as long as possible. We don't have a big plan. Know that you're not going to get to the park for rope drop, that sort of thing. And just kind of planning accordingly is really helpful. Do you rent a stroller or take your own? We always take our own. I've never rented. I'm curious about renting just to like experience it and see, but we really like taking our stroller and gate checking it so that we can have the girls in it through the airport. And it just, I don't know, it makes it easier to me. So we're a gate check family. Favorites for Mickey's Christmas party. Oh my goodness. The dance party, the Disney Junior dance party, was so cute and so fun. So if you have a little one, be sure to go back to Storybook Circus and check that out. It's beside of like Pete's Silly Sideshow. But go back there. It is so much fun. They've got a DJ. I think it's the same DJs from the dance party over at Hollywood Studios, but they have those. There's like Fancy Nancy and Timon from the Lion Guard, Lion King, whatever. He is there. Doc McStuffins is there. And I forget who else. There was someone else. But yeah, those are the ones that we saw there during our time. But it was so cute. So highly recommend doing that. And just even for toddlers, I thought it was so worth the money. I was on the fence when I first, like, the ticket prices are high, don't get me wrong, but the wait times, especially for all the toddler attractions, Dean and Lucy went on Barnstormer 4 times in a row, and I think 2 of the times they didn't even have to get off. And when they did get off, they could have just kept riding because there was no one in line. And so for like the toddler rides and things like that, so much fun. We loved the parade. Do the second parade if you're gonna do a Christmas party. We did the second parade and really liked that. It was touch and go waiting for the parade, but once it started, they had so much fun, and it's much easier to get a nice spot there, either in front of the castle or on Main Street. So highly recommend the second parade. I think it's 11 o'clock parade. It's late, but it's worth it if you can hang. Will y'all stay off property again? I'm not gonna say no, but it's not my favorite way to stay. I will have a review video coming, I promise. What's your suggestion on keeping littles entertained while waiting for fireworks? Okay, so again, we like to, while we're waiting for fireworks, make that a meal time. So that's what works for us. We don't mind sitting and waiting for fireworks. We just factor that in, that this is going to be our break time. This is we get ice cream time, or we have a snack or whatever. And so we'll do that. I will take the girls while Dean waits with the stroller and our spot. We'll put down a blanket and he'll sit there, and I'll take the girls to the baby care center and let Lucy color for a few minutes, and I'll change Bella's diaper. We'll do a potty break, that sort of thing. So that's how we make it through waiting for fireworks. Hi.
Hi, Mommy.
Do you want to come say hi? What is that all about? You're so silly.
Hello, welcome to my new place. It's not to me. I'm looking back to love.
All right, Anna, go watch Elsa. Okay, if late night fireworks with a toddler go wrong, how can we get out of there fast? I love that question. Okay, so some of you will definitely not want to be right in the hub area, would then be my suggestion, because there is no getting anywhere fast. I would definitely suggest, if you wanted to do Main Street, I would do one of the edges of Main Street. You can definitely, because they leave the sidewalks open for people to walk, I would definitely do like a side of Main Street, either side, the right or the left. That would be my suggestion. That way, if it does go wrong, you can still see the projections, you can still see the fireworks, you can see the stuff on Main Street, but if you want to dip out because they are just not having it or they're super scared or whatever, then you can definitely do that. Sometimes you can get there, sometimes you can't, but I enjoy the little hub grass area on the left side. The right side is for the fireworks dessert party, so you can't get in there unless you have a ticket. But sometimes if they're not reserving it for VIP, then you can do that hub grass area. I like kind of that back section. It's not the best view, but sometimes you can do behind that area. But you can definitely kind of get behind that hub grass area, and then you can like make an exit that way really easily. So those are a couple of the spots. But yeah, I wouldn't be in the middle of Main Street or really up in front of the castle in the hub, because there are people everywhere, literally everywhere. And so yeah, I would just kind of keep that in mind. Another good place to watch, you don't see the castle or the projections, but is Tomorrowland. You can see the fireworks behind, or you can do it even from Fantasyland. That's another good spot that we've kind of been in that area during fireworks time, and you can kind of see that. There's only one spot in Fantasyland that I would not recommend, and that's right behind the castle. We've watched there. Thankfully, this was pre-kids because it would have freaked me out having the girls with me. But we did this, and it was like we were getting like firework particles in our eyes from the debris and stuff from when they would like shoot off the fireworks there close to the castle. There are a lot of the fireworks, excuse me, they're big and they're far off, like outside of the perimeter of the park, but there's some that they shoot up literally from the castle or right behind the castle, and it's just, yeah, I wouldn't recommend that at all. Another one, what is their nap schedule for stay out late at the parks? Kind of same thing. That's just kind of what we did. How to get through fireworks and Fantasmic with a 1-year-old. It's so late at night. So yeah, letting them nap as long as possible. Do not wake them up from a nap. Let them sleep as much as they want to, whether you go back to the room or you put them in a stroller. Don't make the mistake that we have done before of thinking, oh, well, they've napped for a while, or I'm just gonna pick them up and take them into this attraction. They won't wake up. Yes, they will. They will probably wake up. Let them sleep in the stroller, and one of you like take turns doing laps with the stroller, or if you can find somewhere quiet to just park it and just both of you enjoy a snack or a drink or something, then do that. But do not wake a sleeping baby at Disney unless you just absolutely have to. And even a lot of times, if say they fall asleep and you're ready to go into a dinner reservation or a lunch reservation at a restaurant, they will even permit you to bring the stroller to the table if they can clearly, obviously, if they can see that the baby is sleeping. Nobody wants to wake a sleeping baby, so they will actually let you bring your stroller to the table with babe inside. So highly recommend doing that, but do not wake a sleeping baby at Disney World. On your Christmas party night, did you start your park day later or go back for naps and then go back? We only did the Christmas party. We didn't do anything else that day. We just kind of tried to take it easy and enjoy our resort and all of that. So we didn't have any plans that morning whatsoever. We slept late, like I talked about. We did naps and just let them sleep. And then once we were in the park at, I think 4-ish for the Christmas party, we stayed until just after midnight for that one. Only have a few questions left. I'm trying to like get through these because I know this video is probably going so long. But what does your toddler eat so her ears won't pop on the plane? As soon as we are in and we know we are like taxiing out to take off, I always start giving them snacks and things to eat. Just anything that will get them swallowing will help. If you are nursing, nurse your baby. If you are bottle feeding, give them a bottle. If you have a toddler, give them a yogurt pouch or their water cup or whatever. Lucy is to the point now, she's been on enough flights that, and she's 3 years old for anybody who doesn't know, she is 3, and literally she'll be like, Mommy, my ears hurt. And I'll be like, okay, you need to take a sip of water. And she'll literally drink water to like make her ears pop and feel better on the airplane. And she knows like, hey, Mommy, my ears are hurting. And afterwards she's like, oh, that feels better. Or she'll drink more and she's like, it doesn't feel better yet. And she'll drink until they actually pop, and she does like feel better. So those really work for both of my girls. And just know, don't wait until you're in the air to start the snacks and water or anything to get them swallowing. Be sure to do that as you are, once you've pushed back and you are taxiing out and you know you're getting ready to take off, start those then. That way you can save yourself, because by the time you're in the air, the damage is done. Their ears and all that pressure has already built up. It's gonna hurt and you're not gonna have a happy baby, and they're probably gonna be screaming. Following intently taking my baby and 3-year-old to Disney for the first time in March. Oh, you've got this, you can do it. It is a roller coaster of emotions, but I promise you it will be so much fun, and you will absolutely enjoy seeing the magic through your little one's eyes. I know it's corny and I know you hear it so much, but it's really true. That even though like you guys saw, I bawled my eyes out in our Hollywood Studios day, because it was just a tough mom day. And even for me, all of my tips and things that I normally pull out and that work great for my girls, none of it was working. And so on top of feeling all of the stress and pressure of everything else, I felt like a failure as a mom, because I'm like, I don't even know my kids right now. Like, I don't know anything to do. And you just feel helpless as a mom. I mean, if you've been there, you know that feeling of, I can't make it better. I can't fix it for my kids. I can't help them to stop crying. I don't know why they're crying. I can't figure this out. And it's just, I don't know. For me, it was just a lot. So I wanted to share that, but you can do it. Totally worth it. And you'll have so much fun. And last but not least is a question of, did you ever have any times where the Disney transportation took a while? So I don't know. You may have to clarify this in the comment section for me. I don't know if you meant Disney transportation on Disney property with their resorts and bus system, or I know we stayed off property, so I don't know if you meant that from the Disney transportation from the Signia Bonnet Creek to there. The Bonnet Creek was on a schedule, and I'll get into that in our review because it's a lot to unpack here, but it was on a schedule. So if we were waiting, it's because we didn't check the schedule and we didn't realize, okay, the bus isn't going to come for 45 minutes because that's the schedule that it's on. But as far as staying on property, we usually had a bus coming every, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes or so. They usually can come pretty quickly. Sometimes they take a while. We have waited up to 40 minutes for a Disney bus before, but a lot of times they are faster than that. So it's really helpful. Plus they've got the little TV monitors at the bus stops now, so you can actually see in real time when they're going to show up, which is really nice. I appreciate that so much. But yeah, okay, so I'm gonna wrap it there. That is all the questions that I have and can handle for today. I've got I don't even know how long this video is, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have stuck around till this far, be sure to give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment with a little star pixie dust emoji in the comment section below. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.